Hi there, I'm Jordan with SweetWater Pool and Spa in the Okanagan Valley, BC, Canada. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the flow switch on your jacuzzi hot tub. The flow switch is responsible for detecting water flow in your hot tub. This may resolve a FL1 or an FL2 error code. You can see our other video here if you need a diagnostic. The tools required to replace the flow switch are a drill with a Phillips bit. This is required to remove the equipment panel as well as the control box panel. You will need a pair of channel lock pliers and 3 pairs of vice grip pliers. You'll also need a replacement flow switch and a couple zip ties. The flow switch is located on the discharge side of the heater. On most jacuzzi spas, this is located on the rightmost area of the equipment. Before we begin the replacement of the flow switch, we want to power off the spa at the GFCI breaker. Once we've verified that there's no power to the spa, we can then remove both panels, the equipment panel as well as the control board panel. With both panels removed, we're going to disconnect the flow switch from the control board. And on our particular spa, this is a 2008 J345, our flow switch connects right here. We're going to disconnect it from the control board. Just unplugs there. There's no push pins or anything like that. We're then going to trace this wire back and feed it through. There's a watertight connector here that will need to be loosened. With it disconnected from the control box, we can now feed it all the way back to the flow switch. With the wiring for the flow switch disconnected, we now want to eliminate water passing through as we remove the switch from this T. This is done by using these needle nose vice grip pliers. Go along all of the lines. We clamp off the discharge side of the flow switch, the supply side of the flow switch, as well as the prime or bleed line on top. With the lines clamped off, we can now begin removing the switch from the T. We're going to be using our channel lock pliers to start unthreading the switch from that T. We're going to be turning it in the opposite direction of this arrow here. This arrow actually indicates the flow of the water, and it's to the right, so we want to turn it in the opposite direction of that arrow. So with it started, we can now loosen this off by hand. We are going to have a small amount of water between all of our vice grips begin to start to slowly drip out. What I like to do is I get the switch fully unthreaded and have a small drip going. I then take our new switch and I get it ready for reinstallation. With this switch unthreaded, we can then pull it out quickly and reinstall our new switch. We want to be careful to keep the wiring for the new switch away from the water that's coming out. We're going to get this switch hand tight, and then we're going to fully tighten it with our channel locks, and we want to pay attention to the way that the water flows through. So if you look at our old switch here, the way that it functions is as water passes through, this post makes contact with this flap here. So we want to make sure that this flap is facing the way the water is coming from. Another easy way is we want to have the flap or the paddle facing the back of the arrow on that flow switch T. Again, once we've got it tight with our hand, we're going to give it one more full turn with the channel lock pliers and verify that we have it facing the right direction. So as water passes through, it's going to close that switch and then continue on through the rest of the system. With our new flow switch installed, we can now remove our vice grips, and you can see water return into that flow switch T. We can then take our channel locks and just reform our tubing here and eliminate those clamps. We will now reconnect the wiring for the new flow switch to the control board and wipe up any water that may have spilt on the pump down below. Bring it through the waterproof connector here. Tighten up the nut once we've got it installed. And plug the flow switch back into the flow switch terminal on the control board. Prior to turning the spa back on with our new flow switch connected to the control board, we're just going to tidy up this wiring here using a zip tie. We'll cut the excess lead for that zip tie off with a pair of side cutters. At this point, we are ready to reactivate power to the spa by turning on the GFCI breaker. With our new flow switch installed and power restored to the spa, we will see that the FL1 or FL2 air code is cleared and our heater indicator light is back on. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you. I'm Jordan with SweetWater Pool and Spa. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.